The first thing you hear is a sound of heavy breathing, then footsteps echoing down a cold, empty hallway. You see a man's back as he walks, slow and tense, carrying something invisible but heavy. The camera cuts to his face, blank, tired, numb. That's not a character. That's you, or someone you know. And then the voice hits. What if everything you've been taught about being a man was a lie? Not a joke, not some philosophical fluff. A straight punch to the gut, because deep down you felt it. You're not just tired. You're depleted. You've ticked all the boxes, provider, protector, achiever, but inside, something is missing. Not a little crack. A void. And no, it's not about motivation. This is about survival. Emotional survival. You were handed a manual on manhood written by ghosts who never knew themselves. And now you're stuck playing a role no one remembers writing. This video, this story, isn't about giving you answers. It's about burning the damn manual. If you're still here, it's because something inside you is waking up. And this is where the fire starts. You wake up. The sun's not even out, but your alarm is screaming. You sit up, crack your neck, stretch, and already the weight is there. Not physical, psychological, emotional. You move like you're underwater, but no one sees it. They see the uniform, the briefcase, the gym gains, the polished smile. They don't see the war going on inside you every single day. But you do. You feel it when you're staring into the mirror, wondering if the man looking back is even real. You smile, shave, grab your coffee, and head out to perform. That's what you do, right? Perform. You don't live. You act. And you're good at it. Too good. The truth is, the most dangerous man in the world is not the one who lashes out, but the one who feels nothing. You become numb to survive. But deep inside, there's a scream. A question. Who am I if I stop performing? If this hits you, it's not coincidence. It's your subconscious banging on the door saying, let me out. So what do now? You stop pretending. You stop living for Instagram. You stop needing applause. You get honest. Brutally honest. Because everything changes the moment you stop lying to yourself. Imagine this. A man sits in a car parked in an empty lot. Rain smacks the windshield. His phone buzzes. He doesn't answer. His hands are gripping the wheel like it's the only thing holding him together. That's not a scene. That's a mirror. That's your friend, your father, maybe even you. These aren't ideas. They're realities men live every single day. And no one talks about it. Instead, we watch videos of guys flexing lumbos or talking alpha like life's a damn video game. But behind closed doors, these men are crumbling. Why? Because there are no visuals for the real stuff. The father holding back tears so his son doesn't see him break. The man punching a wall in silence at 3 a.m. The guy smiling at dinner while his soul screams. We don't show those scenes, but we should, because that's the battlefield. That's where masculinity gets tested. Not in front of cameras, but in the quiet, ugly, honest moments. And you don't escape those by pretending. You face them. Head on. You bleed. You rebuild. That's real. That's raw. That's what they never show. But what you'll feel in every second of this story. Let's talk about the mask. The one you put on every morning without even realizing it. You know the one. Strong jaw, confident voice, perfect answers, zero emotion. That mask has gotten you jobs, respect, attention. But it's also killing you. Slowly. Because behind that mask is a man who's terrified. Who's confused, who's asking questions he's never had the courage to say out loud. And the craziest part? Everyone else is wearing one too. We're all walking around, smiling to the pain, nodding in meetings, fist bumping at the gym, while inside we're screaming. But you don't get to whine, right? You're a man. Suck it up. Get it done. So you do, and the mask stays on. But every mask has a crack, and yours is splitting. It starts with silence, then with rage, then with apathy, until one day you're looking in the mirror and realize you don't recognize the eyes staring back. That's the moment. That's the edge. You either tape the mask back together and keep faking it, or you rip it off. And what you find underneath, that's not weakness. That's your F asterisk 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 ing truth that lets meet three men. You might recognize them. First, there's Josh, the performer. Always on, always perfect. Nice car, clean house, dead inside. Every smile he gives is calculated, every move rehearsed. Then there's Malik, the provider. 2 jobs, 3 kids, no time. He gives until there's nothing left but resentment and burnout. And finally, there's Alex, the lost one. No goals, no direction. Numbs out with video games, porn, junk food. But all 3 have something in common. They've never met themselves. They're not villains. They're survivors of a culture that never taught them how to be men, only how to act like it. And now, they're breaking. And maybe you're one of them. Maybe you've been Josh, smiling while dying. Or Malik, grinding yourself to dust. Or Alex, watching your life waste away one YouTube video at a time. The point isn't to shame. It's to wake you up. Because when you see yourself clearly, you don't stay stuck. You rise. You start walking. And every step forward is a rebellion against everything that ever told you to man up and shut up. Let's stop playing cool for a minute. Let's get raw. You've cried. Maybe not with tears, but in your chest, when no one was watching. You've screamed into pillows, punched walls, stared at ceilings for hours, feeling like the walls are closing in. You've lied and said you're fine, because it's easier than trying to explain a pain even you don't understand. And you know what? That doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. But the problem isn't pain. The problem is silence. Because silence kills. It kills connection, growth, joy, intimacy. Every time you bite your tongue, instead of speaking your truth, you die a little inside. And over time, that adds up until you're a shell of man, smiling in photos but dead in life. So what do you do when that happens? You break the silence. You tell someone. You tell yourself. You journal. You scream. You cry. You get in the damn car and drive to nowhere and feel everything you buried for years. You stop bottling it up and start letting it out, because that's the only way to heal. And no, it won't be easy, but it will be real. And real is better than numb every single time. Now close your eyes. Hear that? The faint heartbeat. It's not just sound, it's rhythm. Life. You've forgotten yours, haven't you? You've been marching to everyone else's drum for so long. You can't even hear your own anymore. But it's there, beneath the static, beneath the lies, beneath the noise of society telling you who to be. The moment the music drops, your soul wakes up. We're building a story with sound. Each beat a footstep into your own darkness. You'll hear whispers of your inner critic, the roar of your anger, the whisper of your shame. And then, silence, the most terrifying sound of all, because silence is where truth lives. And we don't just use sound to entertain. We use it to break you open. Let the music rip through your chest. Let it make you uncomfortable. Let it remind you you're alive. This isn't background noise. This is your soundtrack. And by the end of it, every sound will carry a memory. Every silence will carry a question. That's the difference between a video and a transformation. Sound isn't filler. It's fire. Now let me ask you something. No, really ask you, not as a narrator, but as a man who's been where you are. What if your whole life has been a lie you told yourself to survive? What if your job, your reputation, your strength, your relationships were all part of character you built because you were terrified of being nothing? What would happen if you lost all of it tomorrow? Who would be left? Would you still know how to breathe? How to smile without the performance? What if your wife saw the real you, not the strong protector, but the scared, uncertain, sensitive kid underneath? Would she stay? What if your son grows up copying your silence, your shame, your inability to feel? What kind of legacy is that? You want to be a man? Start by asking the questions you've been running from your whole damn life. And don't just ask them. Sit with them. Stare them down until the truth hits, so hard it makes you nauseous. Because real transformation doesn't come from motivation. It comes from discomfort. So ask, dig, bleed, then rise. There comes a moment in every man's life when everything he built, status, titles, routines, even his identity, starts to crack. You try to keep it together, Smile at dinner, go to work, make jokes, act normal. But inside, something has shifted. It's like you're standing on a collapsing bridge, and every step forward feels like a lie. That's the turning point. It doesn't show up with fireworks or a motivational speech. It shows up in breakdowns, in quiet panic attacks in public restrooms, in sitting alone in your car, unable to drive. It shows up when you realize the life you built is a prison made of gold. That's not failure. That's your moment of truth. The old version of you is dying, and it's supposed to. Don't run. Let it burn, because only when the ashes settle do you see what's underneath. You, not the version everyone applauds, but the raw, shaking, real man you've always hidden. That's the point where the video changes. The tone shifts. The music softens. Not because it's over, but because you've stopped lying. Now the real journey begins. Imagine this. A man stands in a forest at dawn. His clothes are torn. His hands are dirty. There's blood on his face, not from violence, but from survival. Behind him is a trail of chaos. Dead dreams, broken roles, shattered masks. He turns to the camera, eyes clear, calm, wild. He doesn't speak. He doesn't need to. That's what this story is. Not a lecture. A transformation you feel in your chest. We don't just talk about wounds. We show them. Every moment in this video is a scene. The collapse of a marriage. The night you cried into your steering wheel. The look in your father's eyes when he failed you. This isn't theory. It's cinema. We use fire, water, shadows, and silence not as decoration, but as metaphor for your inner world. You'll see yourself drowning in approval, then learning to breathe underwater. You'll see your shadow walking beside you. You'll see yourself bearing the boy who always needed permission. And when the credits roll, if there even are any, it won't feel like a video ended. It'll feel like a chapter closed and a man was born, not through performance, but through presence. Once upon a time, men were forged, not fabricated. Tribes didn't hand boys PlayStations and report cards. They took them into the wilderness. They painted their faces, stripped them of their names, left them in the dark with nothing but a fire and their fears. And when they came back as men, not because someone said so, but because they had faced themselves. Today, we have no rituals, no elders, just social media influencers telling you how to level up. But leveling up isn't about more money or abs. It's about dying to who you were and being reborn with depth. The Maori carved their stories into their skin. The Spartans trained their bodies and spirits through silence. African tribes used drumming and shadow work. Native cultures sent their young men into vision quests to find their truth in the desert. What do we have? Likes, hustle culture, burnout. So, what do you do when there's no elder to guide you? You become your own. You take yourself into the woods. You fast. You cry. You scream. You let go of everything that ever made you feel small, and you don't return until the boy inside you has met the man he was always meant to become. I'm not here to make you feel good. I'm here to tear off the blindfold and hand you a mirror. You want the truth? Here it is. Your strength isn't in your bank account, your bench press, or your bravado. It's in your willingness to sit in silence with your demons. It's in your ability to admit, I don't have it all figured out. That's the punch. But here's the hug. You're not broken. You're buried under years of performance, expectation, trauma. And the moment you stop trying to fix yourself and start trying to find yourself, everything changes. You realize you were never meant to be perfect. You were meant to be whole. You're allowed to feel. You're allowed to struggle. You're allowed to fall and scream and still be a man. But no one's going to save you. No woman, no friend, no book. This is on you. But not in a pressure way, in a power way. Because once you take the wheel, once you say enough, once you stare in the mirror and say, I'm ready, that's when the storm calms. And in its place is something deeper than strength. Peace. All right, pause everything. Because this isn't just a moment. It's a mirror. And you have a choice. You can finish this video, nod, feel inspired for 10 minutes, and go back to autopilot. Or you can do something right now. Not tomorrow. Not after work. Right now. Grab a notebook and write. What lie have I been living? Don't think. bleed onto the page. Write until your hand cramps. Then take that paper, fold it up and bury it. Literally bury it. In the dirt. Burn it. Tear it into pieces. And throw it into the sea. Give that live funeral. Then tomorrow, do the thing you've avoided. Call your father. Say, I'm sorry to someone you hurt. Say, I need help if you're drowning. Take your phone and turn it off for 24 hours. Go for a walk alone without music, without distraction, and just be. These aren't symbolic acts. They're sacred, and no one will applaud you. No one will see it, but your soul will. And it will whisper, finally, he's listening. You'll see it in the frame. The mask being buried in the ground, one final tear dropping onto it before the dirt covers it. A man shaving his head, not for fashion, but for rebirth. Another standing in rain, arms wide, screaming into the sky as thunder rips the silence. These aren't visuals for aesthetics. They're sacred rites. Every visual transition in this film is a message. The fire represents destruction. Burn the version of you built on survival. The water represents cleansing. Let it wash the shame from your skin. The desert? That's the emptiness after letting go. But it's also where you hear your true voice. And then light, but not the fake, filtered kind. Natural light, the one that hits your face after a storm and feels like grace. You're not watching a video. You're watching your own soul illustrated in sound, color, and emotion. And by the time the screen goes dark, you won't forget what you saw. Because you'll feel it in your bones. Because these aren't just visuals. They're mirrors. When it's all said and done, the noise fades, and you're sitting in your final days looking back at the life you lived. What will you see? Will you see a man who performed for applause, chased illusions, and built walls so no one could ever see his truth? Or will you see a man who ripped the mask off, faced his shadow, spoke his truth, loved with presence, and lived fully? That's your legacy. And don't get it twisted. Legacy isn't fame. It's the echo you leave in your son's voice. It's the strength your daughter sees in how you treat her mother. It's the calm presence your friends remember. It's the stranger you helped without ever needing recognition. It's the truth you lived when everyone else settled for lies. So ask yourself right now, will your son inherit your wounds or your wisdom? Will your partner remember you as a role or as a man? Will you die full of unspoken words or as someone who left nothing unsaid? This isn't drama. This is life. And it's short. So stop waiting. Stop delaying. Stop distracting. You don't need more time. You need more truth. And the moment you choose it, everything changes, not instantly, but deeply. Because men like you don't change the world by pretending. You do it by becoming. Fully, fiercely, unapologetically. You.